40th, big 4-0. Happy 40th birthday to the Some Casual Takes podcast, a podcast hosted by me, Stephen Pepper, featuring other sports fans debating interesting topics with the most casual takes. This episode is brought to you by no one, just like always. We're here with Kieran, Cure Bum, Cure Fraud, Cure Ice Cream Cone. Shout out Legend for the plethora
Shout
of
out
nicknames.
Legend, bro.
Then we got NFL Post, Matt, making his debut. The man who has over 1,000 players in the NBA ranked. Pretty much anyone who's ever worn an NBA jersey is on his list. So think of anyone. He's on his list. And we got Locked In Sports with his also making a debut. Don't really know much about Locked In Sports, but he's a follower. And he wanted to come on the pod. I was like, I got to give everyone an opportunity to come on the pod and speak their mind because it's the NBA Finals. Got a lot to talk about. Today, we're previewing the finals, giving our predictions, and we're talking about some narratives, especially like legacy. I really want to get into the legacy of the NBA Finals. That's why we brought up NFL Post. The man's got 1,000 people ranked. So I'm going to see where he's got people ranked after the NBA Finals. But first, how is everyone doing today? Kieran said you had class, bro.
Worst class ever.
Hans is taking summer classes. Listen, y'all, don't ever take a summer class. I don't know why
Especially
you
when it's 3 hours long. I've been up since like 8 o'clock.
What kind of class is it, bro?
It's theology, bro.
Theology?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's religion.
Oh, yeah. Bro, religion class for 3 hours on a Thursday?
I mean, it could be worse. It's only 3 weeks, so.
Oh, yeah, most summer classes are 3 weeks. But you could be watching Jimmy Butler highlights, but instead you're going to theology
class. I don't have class tomorrow. It's only Monday through Thursday, so I'm good.
4 days a week?
Yep.
Oh, man. Yo, Post, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm not so sure how long these episodes usually take. I got a busy day today. Uncle's wake, so I'm gonna be. It's gonna be a long day, but I'm here for now.
I've been there before, bro.
Yeah,
it's a long day, but you're gonna get through it.
Yep.
And then we got Locked In, bro. What's up, bro?
Cool one, bro. How y'all doing?
Chilling, ready to talk the NBA Finals. So, Nuggets, Heat. I'm actually going to watch this series. I know I said in a previous podcast I'm not watching the NBA again if this series actually comes true, but the series comes true. Adam Silver, just real quick, you had one job. You had the Lakers and the Celtics in your basket to give us this finals, and you just didn't. So, thanks,
I'm
Adam
so
Silver.
glad. I get to see Michael Jordan live. It's awesome.
You know what's interesting about the Lakers as a LeBron fan? That was the first time I've legit seen LeBron lose in the playoffs, like legitimately. Like first time.
What, like, I mean, like, describe legitimately.
Because when I first started watching basketball, it was his first year with the Heat. So I saw all those years with the Heat going to the finals. See, I'm talking about in the playoffs, not the finals. But the man went to 8 straight finals, and then he didn't make the playoffs, and then he won a championship. And then the following year, Anthony Davis got hurt when they were up 2-1. That's not legitimately – that's not a loss. I don't count that loss, bro. And then the other year, they missed the playoffs. And then this year, this was the first time I've actually seen him with a fully healthy team legitimately lose in the playoffs before the NBA Finals.
That's kind of crazy. Like,
it's crazy. It was the weirdest feeling in the world.
I started watching basketball in like 2008, so I guess like this is like the first time since I've seen like I guess like when he lost to Boston in 2010, because they were favored in that series, but like that's like this is like the first time since 2010 where I like or 11 that like he's legitimately lost in the playoffs, not counting the finals.
Yeah. Which is weird, and it felt weird, and I couldn't cope with that because they teased me, bro. They teased me, but at least we beat the Warriors. At least we beat the Warriors.
I'm just glad both of you guys are out.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad the Warriors are out because I would not have stood another Steph Curry night in the NBA Finals. I can't.
That I'm sorry, that's the most cringe celebration of all time.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be more cringe than all these Heat comments in pregame, postgame interviews. Nothing's more cringe than the Miami Heat media tour. Max Strus posting stuff on Instagram, Jimmy Butler said, "I'll hold the next one." Christ, dudes want to be clipped so bad, bro. Like, oh my God. I saw this other comment from Jimmy Butler the other day. I'm like, dudes are trying so hard to be clipped on Twitter. Like, when they actually win the championship, they can just like have that like, oh my God, he guaranteed it. Like, okay. But the finals, Nuggets, Heat. So we got the Denver Nuggets going into the season. I don't know about you guys, but I thought there was a little bit of a fraud, number one. I'll have to admit. I was like, bro, the Lakers could take this to them if they matched up in the playoffs. I was still a Jokic guy, though. I was like, yo, Jokic should get his flowers as an MVP candidate. I didn't really see this from them, bro. I was sleeping on them like Curry night-night. I was asleep. It was all NyQuil when it came to the Nuggets. They came in the playoffs. I had them beating the Pelicans originally because I thought the Pelicans would beat the Timberwolves in the play-in. That didn't happen, but they scraped the Timberwolves. They went through Kevin Durant. They went through Devin Booker. They went through my Lakers. Not just went through my Lakers. Well, why am I saying my Lakers? They went through LeBron, and they swept them. And now they're here. They're clearly probably the most complete team, the most talented team. Well, maybe not the most talented team, but the most well put together team offensively in the NBA, from role players to superstars. This team clicks, and they might have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. And then Miami. I'm not going to lie, bro. I had no expectations for this Heat team all year. I didn't pick them to be one of the best teams in the East. I didn't think this roster was that crazy. Going into the playoffs, I was like, this team is going to win against Atlanta, but immediately I had them losing to Boston in 5 to 6 games in the first round. They didn't play Boston because they lost the play-in. They went to Milwaukee, scraped Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a little injured. Okay, still scraped Milwaukee. Went to New York. It is Julius Randle. Beat Knicks fan on the panel. Went to New York, 1-6. And then actually New York gave him a fight those last couple games. I can't lie.
Game 6.
Jalen Brunson gave up a fight. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson gave him a fight. RJ Barrett had a couple good games, man.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, man.
The Celtics.
You're welcome for him, by the way.
The Celtics trolled us. Made it all. Yep. NFL post.
Speed
Went
it up.
all the way to
Speed it up. Speed it up.
Can I talk about the Celtics real quick?
Yeah.
I thought out of the 4 teams left, I thought they were the most talented team. I thought they were the best team left.
I thought they were the most talented team.
I thought their depth. I thought, like, even though I'm not high on Jaylen Brown, I thought their depth was like the best out of like the 4 teams. Even though like Jason Tatum's inconsistent, we know in like closeout games he's amazing. I know he got hurt in Game 7, so I'm not gonna really blame this loss on Jason Tatum that much. Like, he tried his best even though he was hurt. But I'm honestly really shocked that their team played as bad as they did in Game 7. Like,
And for Boston, they beat Boston. Boston teased us, came back down 3-0 to lose a Game 7 at home. Boston's interesting because preseason, after the finals, I said Boston's winning the chip. Before the season, right before the season started, before Game 81 of 82 started, I said Boston's winning the chip. Trade deadline, Boston's winning the chip. Before the playoffs, Boston's winning the chip. I said they had the superstar, they had the second option, they had the depth, they had the defense, they had the experience. That's a lot. That's more than any team in the NBA. And they lost, which hurt because I've been picking Boston to win the East or win the championship for like the last 3-4 years.
yep.
And they haven't been able to really close the deal. And Miami won. I didn't see this from Miami. I did not see this from Miami. This is one of the things I'm going to ask you guys a little bit. I always hear these never doubt Miami. You guys slept on Miami. You don't know ball if you didn't pick Miami. Miami was a 1 seed last year. A 1 seed. Really, they ran it back with really the same crew minus PJ Tucker. But PJ Tucker isn't a 20-win, 10-win swing. He's not. And they ran it back with the same crew, and they became the 7th seed. And then they became the 8th seed, lost the first play-in game, and they were 2 minutes away from losing, not even making the playoffs at all. And now they're here. It makes no sense to me. One of the worst three-point shooting teams, one of the worst scoring teams in the league. I think they're bottom 5 in three-point and scoring. All of a sudden, they're a great offense and can shoot out the gym.
They have the least amount of points from any team in the entire regular season, the Miami Heat.
Well, like I think when it comes down to like when you look at like the role players on the team, like Duncan Robinson, who looked awful, like he looked awful in the regular season.
He's getting benched.
Now,
DNPs.
now Eric Spoelstra is using him to his strengths. He's cutting to the basket more. He's just not being a 3-point shooter, and he's actually playing really well in the playoffs. Like Caleb Martin, like was just a spot up shooter. Now he's like be able to show that he can create his own shot.
He's making fadeaways over everybody.
That's like exactly. Like I think
prime Kobe.
Even like Max Strus, for example. Max Strus, like I think only shot like 34%. He's shooting like 40 in the playoffs. Like, the guys are stepping up. I think it just what it comes down to is that like Eric Spoelstra is putting these guys in like the best position to win, and he's actually using them to their strengths. Because like the Heat had like a lot of chemistry issues the entire regular season, and I guess they just found it out when they like got into the plan, played Milwaukee, like, and now they look like I think when it comes to like to Milwaukee and how they played Boston, I think Milwaukee was more just Jimmy Butler, but now you have like Caleb Martin, like Bam, like on the defensive end, not offensively. Like Duncan Robinson, like all these guys, and they're doing it without Tyler Hero, so it's kind of crazy turnaround. So,
do you think that the loss of Tyler Hero benefited the team? I've been hearing that take a lot recently.
I have no clue.
Does Caleb Martin get up the shots he's been getting?
I mean, like
Vincent averaged 10.
That's what I'm asking.
Who knows?
I don't want to say that because Tyler Hero like kept him in the game against Chicago, so I really don't want to say that. And even with Tyler Hero, I think they were up 12 when he got hurt, or like.
Yeah, they were.
So like I can't really say that, but it's also gives other guys to show like what they can do, especially Caleb Martin. That came out of nowhere.
Gabe Vincent one game literally outscored Brown and Tatum combined. Can't make this up.
And they're doing it efficiently too, man.
Caleb Martin averaged more than Jaylen Brown this entire series.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I want to talk about
way higher shooting splits, by the way.
And that's in the notes. We got to talk about Jaylen Brown. So that's the preview of the NBA Finals. It's on tonight. I will be watching. So all the people the fake NBA fan allegations, I will be watching.
Yeah,
even though my glorious king did not make it, the NBA robbed us.
That sounds crazy.
Legacy. I want to talk legacy for a second.
Look Glazer.
Look Glazer. Before we get into the predictions of the game itself and like the game plans for both teams, I want to do a little legacy talk, and I'm going to give it Post. I want you to talk first once I give you these names because you're the Mr. 1000 players. So we're going to talk about like who has the most to gain from this series. If this player wins a ring, where is he all time? That type of stuff. So like how much could this NBA Finals benefit like this player's legacy? So we can start with Nikola Jokic. Mr. Post, if Nikola Jokic wins this championship, where is he all time on your list?
Well, it really depends. I mean, I can't really give an exact list because it is very much possible, though unlikely, that Jokic maybe does play bad and then maybe his teammates pick up the slack for him. It's possible. So it really just depends on the facet that he does win this championship. But if everything does go right, he will be in my top 20. Currently, I have him at 28, but I haven't moved that in like 3 months. So currently he has guys like Bob Pettit, Harden, Kawhi ahead of him. I think once he wins the finals, he pretty much is going to be better than all those guys. And then I'm going to look a little bit deeper into guys like David Robinson, Dwayne Wade, George Mikan, Dirk, Julius Erving, since I just do NBA career. And then Karl Malone and Giannis, maybe Moses Malone too.
Dude, you're spot on. I almost like broke out laughing when I just heard that plumber George Mikan's name.
Right. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about the finals here.
I'm surprised Bob Cousy's name didn't come up, bro.
I want to give my take.
Bob Cousy's never been top 30 all time.
I want to give my take on Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Regardless if he wins or loses, it just really depends like how you view him as a player. Like, I feel like it'd be nice if he got like a ring and Finals MVP, but if he's averaging like 30, 10, and 10 and they lose, like you really blame him. Like
yeah.
even then, like I think Nikola Jokic, regardless if he loses or not, is still going to be a top 25 player of all time.
But
It
if
just
he wins a ring this year as Nikola Jokic, now we can't project how he's going to play. Like we're not going to say what if he like actually wins
well,
a championship,
I will
having
say this.
35-point triple double. Let's say if he plays as current playoff Nikola Jokic and wins a championship, where would he be to you all time?
Well, I do think like defensive wise, this is his toughest matchup because I think Eric Spoelstra's schemes are better than obviously Darvin Ham. I just think Darvin Ham has like a better player than Anthony Davis. But if he wins a ring, like I don't really use accolades, but like if he wins this ring and it balls out, like he's probably top 20 for me. Like I put him over guys like Karl Malone. I already think he's better than like Barkley and all those guys. Uh Wade is interesting because like Wade has been consistently a great playoff performer for his entire career. He'd probably be in that Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Leonard range for me because I have Kawhi pretty high on my list. So that's just my opinion. Like I think Kawhi and Dwayne Wade are both top 20. So
I just like how I liked how you brought up Anthony Davis, like the best player Darvin Ham didn't have was Tristan Thompson. But okay. All right, locked in.
Man,
What you
this is
got,
an
bro?
interesting one for sure, bro. When you look at Jokic, man, like what he's doing, I can't recall ever seeing a center with, I don't even believe he has like a top 20 usage rate in the NBA, but it just seems like the offense flows through him so well, bro. Like, he finds the open man. He creates his own shots. He works the post. It really comes down to his teammates being consistent for, I think, like for them to win this. And I would take their depth over Miami's depth. I would take their role players over Miami's role players any day. That's just me. I'm not a big believer
Wait,
in Gabe.
Udonis Haslam's on the Heat, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. That's
Udonis
fact,
Haslam's better than Michael Porter Jr. But
that's my point exactly. But all time, man, when you think about Jokic and his legacy already, we're already like forgetting he's wearing number 15. That jersey will not go in the rafters with Anthony on the back of it. It will go in the, it will go in the rafters with Jokic on the back of it. And that's a big thing to say when you think about just like it seems like overnight or how quick, but I forget he was on the team with Wilson Chandler and Gallinari and Kenneth Faried, right?
yeah, people forget he was drafted
Man
in
of man.
2016.
I thought he was traded
Yes.
for Wilson Chandler.
They
The
was
man-
benching from
I believe they
UC
was on the same
Mercus,
team,
bro.
if I'm not mistaken. I think they played together.
Yeah, whatever.
Ty
Yeah,
Lawson
but
as well, I think. Right?
yeah, so if you really think about it, man, the rate that he's doing this and the numbers that he's putting up, top 15, top 20 easily for me, ring or not. But yeah, I think he's almost solidified at this point because
I mean, like I think
Man.
when it comes, oh sorry, I thought you were done.
no, you're good.
I think but like basically comes down to is like how you just like if I guarantee you if Jokic was like on a different team, like people would give him more respect. It's just because he's on the Denver freaking Nuggets. Like no one cares about the Nuggets. Like
Oh, if he was a Laker,
never made the
he'd
finals
solidify
until
the
this
best player in the
year.
world.
yeah, like even if like Nikola Jokic was like on a team like the Thunder, I think he would get more respect.
Yeah.
Because
I see how they're treating Shy.
well, like no, I'm just saying because like they had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, so like they have a good.
I mean,
reputation.
before Jokic, the Nuggets' best players is like a mix between Melo, David Thompson, and Alex English. And it's kind of like when you're thinking of like the best players to ever play the game, like top 10, top 30, top 50, like none of those guys come into that discussion.
Yeah, like
Jokic has done that for the Nuggets.
Kiki
And
Vandeweghe.
it's not going to make them a big market team. It's just going to make them like more noticeable. Like this team had one of the all-time greats.
Also,
for
we're
sure.
seeing a player that we're never going to see again. Like, I don't think we're going to see a center that like plays like a point guard and is that valuable to an offense like ever again. Like, I think he's a top 5 passer of all time in my opinion. Like,
Yeah. Well,
he elevates the team in so many ways. We saw like guys like Aaron Gordon and Davius Caldwell-Pope, like all these guys getting heavy minutes
Bruce
and
Brown.
they're benefiting off like Jokic's play style. He just like brings so much value to the offense that like if you value offense that much, you got to put him in top 20. Like, you know.
And then the weirdos, the weirdos. If you just said value offense, there's going to be that weird group of people who just assume that you can't be top 20 if you don't like play defense, and then they just go through that.
Yeah, but like the funny thing is, like people don't keep the same energy with Magic Johnson.
They
Like
don't.
Magic Johnson is not a good defender. I think he's
Because
like
there's a narrative out there that he could guard 1 through 5 when he could barely guard 1.
no,
couldn't
like
guard
no.
one.
Magic at his very best is average.
Yes.
So is Jokic, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I just really don't think it matters that much when you're that high offensively, because like they don't keep the same energy with Magic Johnson, and I still think Magic is still a top 10 player of all time.
Yeah, again, I don't care if you can play defense. I just care if you can produce for my team. And if you don't play defense, but your offense is so great, then that's fine. Because Paul
vice
George is
versa.
two-way, but what's Paul George producing? Like, okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah, exactly. Like some players are great two-way players. Like if you're
Yeah.
taking peak Paul George over peak Steph, like by your logic, you would take like peak
not even
over
Paul
peak
George,
Steph.
like Kawhi Leonard. Like even though Kawhi's awesome, like not better than Steph Curry.
Well, Kawhi has a bit better argument than Paul George, though, because
Yeah.
Kawhi has the playoff translation at least. But for me, I think if Nikola Jokic wins this championship, I hope at least everyone who had Giannis after he won that championship, who put Giannis quickly to the top 15 to 25 range, does the exact same energy for Nikola Jokic, because Jokic would be a back-to-back MVP who the following season won a championship, exactly just like Giannis. And I think the offense that Jokic is creating is at such an historic level that barely anyone in NBA history could do. I think Nikola Jokic has to be. Now, there is some longevity that he is going to miss right now, but peak for peak, what he's doing right now can boost him up in a tier of guys just like Dirk, KG, and Dwayne Wade. If he wins a championship, I think he will be in that tier with Giannis as well. And you can make an argument that Jokic is better than all of those guys. And I'd honestly, I take peak Jokic over peak Dirk.
I agree.
Yeah.
Where's this
I
blasphemy?
want to bring up Giannis real quick.
That ain't blasphemy. Yo, you disagree,
Where's the
bro?
blasphemy. I don't. I'm not saying Jokic. Like I hate comparing bigs to bigs, man. You got to take it for what it's worth. Like centers and power forwards. Dirk was never like. He wasn't asked to do any of this shit, so it's kind of hard for us to
Because he
sit
can't
here
do
and
it.
like.
Because he can't do it.
Not many people can, bro. The only
Yeah,
other
that's a
person that
testament how
was
great
ever
So that's
the
a
only
good
other
thing.
person-
That's a good thing
No,
for Jokic.
that's what I'm saying. The only other
Nikola
person that was
Jokic.
ever compared to like a passing big, like they had him like comparing to Vlade
I get what you're trying to
Divac
say.
coming
Like,
out.
whoa, no one asked
You know what I
Dirk
mean?
Nowitzki to do what Jokic did. It's
Yo,
because Dirk
Castro,
can't. If Dirk was able to do what Jokic could do,
But
he
what he
would've.
can do, he's really good at, bro. Like
can't-
that
he can't
playoff
run it off.
run,
He
that
can't run it-
championship
Well,
run is one of the
Jokic
top
is doing
3 playoff runs of
all
all
that though
time.
on better efficiency.
Yeah.
I want to bring up Jokic and Giannis real quick. If Jokic wins the championship, I'm pushing that Jokic is better than Giannis all time. You know why? You know
Give me
why?
Giannis by step.
You know why? Because I feel like when it comes to Jokic and Giannis, I feel like Giannis struggles way more in the playoffs than people like give him credit for, or like people just like overblown that like because like when you look at Giannis's playoff career, 2021 he was great. I'm not denying that. 2022 struggled against the Celtics. I know he averaged 30, but it was like on 50 true shooting. That's not that great. 2019 Raptors did not play great. 2020 before he got hurt, he was not playing great against the Heat. Like there's so many holes in Giannis's career where I can say that like, oh, at least Jokic was playing great, even though like let's like in 2021 like his team was hurt. 2022 he was hurt. He's still averaging like 30 on great efficiency. So I think Jokic is clearly a better playoff performer. If you want to say regular season players, Giannis, that's fine. But like, I think their regular season close. I'm not really sure if their playoffs is close because I'm questioned about Giannis's playoff translation.
I will say, I wish, because I don't think a lot of people were paying attention to Nikola Jokic. I wish a lot of people were actually watching Jokic during those 2 playoff years he didn't have Jamal Murray, because that was some of the best playoff translation. They didn't go far, But that was some of the best playoff translation I've ever seen. I don't know what series. I think it was the Portland series where that dude was averaging like 33 a game on like insane efficiency.
I mean,
I
we,
gotta look it
we
up.
can also go back to 2019 and 2020 because like in 2020 he was averaging 19. He skyrockets all the way to 25. But the
Yeah.
dude is rising in the playoffs, and like the previous series, like is averaging like 20, goes up to like 26. So, like Jokic has been doing this for consistently 5 years now.
Blazers Nuggets. Come on.
Like
Blazers Nuggets. Nikola Jokic is 33-11 on 50 40 90. He's averaging 33-11 on 50 40 90.
as a center,
That's nuts. That's
That
as a
is-
center.
And his second best players, MPJ and Monty Morris. Austin Rivers is his fifth leading scorer.
I mean, go look at the Warriors. Like his best player, I think, was freaking Facundo.
I think it was like Will Barton.
Facundo Campazzo.
He's not even in the
Yeah.
league anymore. I think
No, he's not in the league, and I got Facundo Campazzo
This
at
was a great series,
959
bro,
all
'cause-
time right now. He's a bum.
Damian Lillard was also 34 and 10 a game too, which was insane. This was a classic series that went.
yeah, Dame had 12 threes in like game 5.
Yeah, that 54 game point. Yeah,
That
this was
series and that
insane.
Utah series, like the Nuggets have been a part of some legendary like matchups so far. If you want
I
to
mean,
ask
like,
me,
a
because
lot
that
of
Jamal
people
Murray and Donovan Mitchell matchup during the
I
bubble.
feel like a
was
lot of people give
crazy.
credit for Jamal Murray in the bubble, but Jokic was amazing in that playoff run as well. Like, I know Jamal was like playing better than him, but like it's not like Jokic. Well, like yeah,
Speaking of Jamal Murray, now we're going on to Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray wins this ring, what does that do for him in the current? Not all time, because this isn't moving a needle for Jamal like all time or anything.
For sure.
But what does this do for Jamal Murray? I'm going to start with you, locked in the current
Nothing.
landscape of point guards currently in the NBA. What does this do for Jamal Murray?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Simple. Nothing.
Well, I think it just proves that Jamal Murray is a top 10 point guard because before the playoffs, I've seen a lot of people say he's not a top 10 point guard.
What's your list when it comes to that? Because
This moves him over Drew Holiday. This moves him over like.
I think
are they in the top 10, bro? Like, because when you really think
Well,
about it, like
when
people
I'm
like
looking at
Shea
point
Gilgeous coming up, you got De'Aaron Fox, you got so many people. Jalen Brunson, the way he plays, like consistently, even in the playoffs for us last year and this year, we can't keep just throwing this top 10.
The
stuff
Kyrie
around
Jamal Murray
because
narratives
we
could
really
get
gotta
nasty.
think about it.
well,
I'm not
thinking
even
of
throwing
point guard,
Kyrie in there.
the
based on the
definitive
last
point
couple
guards I would
years, so.
have over Jamal Murray is Steph, Luka, Dame, Trey, Kyrie, De'Aaron Fox, and Ja. That's 6.
You said Alexander, right?
That's 7.
Oh, and Shea. My bad.
All right, so that's 8.
So like
Are we really counting
After
Kyrie?
that-
Yo, Knicks
after
fan.
that-
Knicks fan right now. Brunson or
I'm
Murray?
not.
Knicks
I'm
fan.
not.
Brunson or Murray?
I think Brunson and Murray are close, but I think I'm gonna give it slightly
It's
to
Brunson.
Jamal. Slightly.
I'm gonna go Brunson because
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
need to
I'm
go
going
Brunson.
Brunson.
think it's
Brunson's
going
been doing
Shea.
this the whole
I
year,
think it's-
and Murray has just been
Close.
starting to turn up.
Like
Yeah.
I think Murray is definitely better than Garland. Like Garland, like not close. I think he's better than Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is a little overrated. Like,
At this point,
and I'm not just saying that because he got absolutely destroyed by Jimmy Butler. I'm saying that from like an absolute impact, like perspective. I don't think he impacts as like most people say. Like,
I will say though, I think he's like, if he does win a championship, I'll put him like 9 or 10. But prepare yourself on TikTok, because you know the dudes who do like the top 10 point guards or whatever. Dude, you're gonna start seeing Jamal Murray like 5, 6.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
If he does what he does, like if he goes in the NBA Finals, averages like a cool, like he's not gonna do what he did against the Lakers again. But if he averages like a cool 25 to 27 points per game, has a huge fourth quarter again or something like that, beware. It's gonna happen. Because I already saw people when I did my top 25 players in the NBA list, people in my comments saying Murray ? Like,
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, you're gonna start seeing Jamal Murray's in the top 25 players list.
I mean, I love Jamal Murray, but I don't want people to overrate him because like they did that for the bubble. So
Yes.
and like Jamal Murray's great, but like say he's like in the same conversation as like guys like Kyrie Irving and like De'Aaron Fox. Like I just don't see it.
again, if you're not doing any of this in the regular season and no one's talking about you, then you have a couple great playoff series. You're not moving a needle. Because I feel like
I would argue
Unless you're
that
Jimmy
Jamal Murray
Butler.
is better than Kyrie, though.
well, Jimmy
I would
Butler at
say
least was
that.
all league 13 though. So
He was second team this year.
the forward spot sucks. To me, he's like an all league
Wow.
13. The forward spot sucks.
I mean,
Jaylen
he's
Brown.
first team every year because he's Michael Jordan's son. But
Jaylen Brown. I will say the forward spot sucks.
Jaylen Brown, bro, great.
We're gonna get to Jaylen Brown later. But what are you gonna say, Post?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think I would argue Jamal Murray over Kyrie right now, just because I feel like in the regular season it was Kyrie by like a pretty good margin, but then come the playoffs, we're seeing Jamal Murray do something in the playoffs that Kyrie has not done since 2017.
True.
Like Jamal Murray this year in the playoffs, it's not better than the peak Kyrie that we saw in the playoffs. But again, right now, Murray has been better in the playoffs for all of Kyrie's like past 5 seasons combined.
Hey, ain't gonna lie, spin Loki.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like at the same time, like I don't know, like sometimes like Kyrie has like unfortunate luck. Like 2021 he was hurt.
Yeah.
2018 he was hurt. So I'm not like denying that like Jamal's been better in the playoffs, but like at the same time, I think also like Jamal like benefits from Nikola Jokic, where you can say that like
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving's never had the playmaker like Nikola Jokic, even though I'm talking like after LeBron. I'm talking after LeBron.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like I would give it to Kyrie because like
Okay.
Yeah.
Now because I don't think anyone else on Denver would move much needles if they win a ring. I guess Michael Malone becomes a top 3 guaranteed head coach of the NBA if you already weren't thinking that. But that's about it. Because what are you going to talk KCP legacy? He would be a 2-time champion.
I could.
You want to have but NFL list. He's probably on your top 1,000 list. So
he is.
Where would KCP move, bro?
Let me go check where I got him right now. I have KCP at 701. He's in the John Collins, Bogdan Bogdanovic range. This would definitely move him above Bogdanovic, Erwin Ewer, Stromile Swift, and Ron Lee. But once you get to Kyle Kuzma, DeAndre Hunter, and Richard Dumas, then we need to like slow down a bit. I need to like really look into it.
Bro just said once we get to Kyle Kuzma on an all-time list,
Bro.
slow down. I didn't think I'd ever hear that ever.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so now to Miami. Obviously, we got to start with Jimmy Butler, the Michelob Ultra man. We'll start with Kieran, the biggest Jimmy Butler fan of all time.
So, do you want to
If Jimmy Butler wins a championship, where is he all time? What does this do for his legacy?
Well, I think after this playoff run, he's definitely top 75. Like, definitely.
Oh, he already is.
I think you can make an argument for top 50. I'm actually gonna read a stat. This is playoff legends stats differential from like regular season to playoffs, like points per game differential. So, and this is like for like players. Kawhi Leonard, 2019 plus 3.9. Kevin Durant is plus 3.4 for 2017. Dirk is 4.7. Kobe is 3.4. Hakeem Olajuwon is 5.2. Michael Jordan is 4.4. Larry Bird is 3.3. And then you get to Jimmy Butler in 2023. It is 5.6. It will be the highest point differential of all time from regular season to playoffs, which is absolutely crazy. Like, in my opinion, like Jimmy Butler would be cemented as like arguably like one of the greatest playoff risers of all time. Like from regular season to playoffs, he might be the greatest. Like,
But could I argue that he had a lower bar to jump from?
Yeah.
Like if LeBron James and Michael Jordan are averaging 27 to 30 points per game in the regular season, it's harder for them to rise as on the level of Jimmy Butler if Jimmy Butler had a lower floor. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like if Jimmy Butler was doing more of this in the regular season, that jump wouldn't look as crazy. It's because he's not doing the regular season. But I do get you're saying that it's still a great jump, but he's still an all-time great playoff performer. It's like I mean, if Kobe was averaging 22.3 in the regular season, I think he can go up to like 28 in the postseason.
For sure.
The floor was lower for Jimmy Butler.
I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, like Jimmy Butler is like proving that he can be like a number one option on a championship team. Like, you know,
Haven't seen it yet.
I
But he
mean,
will if he wins.
he will if he wins, and if he does win, like, you probably got to put him in a top 50, right? Like,
I would put Jimmy Butler top 50 if he won this championship.
okay.
I mean, I would too, but I think like this is why Jimmy Butler's a weird player to me because like I remember on one of your shows, Casual, you were talking about this, like Jimmy Butler might sneak onto the like third team, second team, maybe some years, and then he'll just rise in the playoffs, which is why I think he's just like a weird guy because there aren't many guys that we've seen rise in the playoffs, making second team, third teams, and then then from there propel their team to win the finals if Jimmy Butler wins it. Like the last guy that we maybe saw do that was Reggie Miller making it. And if we're talking about winning, it's probably a guy like Isaiah Thomas back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
So that's what makes Jimmy Butler a weird player for me because in terms of like regular season peak, which I do put a lot of value in, just pretty much just as much as postseason peak. I do value postseason peak a little bit more though. This would move Jimmy Butler above guys like Embiid, guys like Westbrook, Ray Allen, probably Paul Pierce. So then once he gets into that, and this is what makes it tricky for me. The guy I have right at 50 is Bill Walton, and he is a very weird player to rank. But when it comes to Butler, I think Butler is going to be doing it with more expectations. I think, even though I do think that his postseason translation isn't. I think it's better than Walton's. I would say throughout Walton's short prime.
Yeah. Bill Walton was an MVP.
I mean, like,
yeah, it was, but that's what makes it tough though, because I think Butler is doing so much more for the Heat than Walton was for Portland. Because Walton was a good playmaking big. He wasn't doing as much as like let's just say Jokic or even Butler.
If Jimmy Butler was doing just a little bit more of this in the regular season, his legacy would be amazing.
My thing
because
is
then he would be a consistent all-league second team guy with championships, and he would get more MVP votes. It's gonna hurt him. That's why I don't think he's higher, but top 50, I think is a good spot.
Well, it basically just comes down to like how much you outweigh the regular season to the playoffs. Like when you guys get to like guys like Charles Barkley, like even like Anthony Davis, like all those guys, like I think that's where you draw the line. But if it's guys like Russell Westbrook or like guys like that, Paul Pierce, like Paul George, like all those guys, I think you can put them over because their regular seasons like doesn't outweigh his playoffs, but it does for certain other guys.
I think I'm in between 60 to 70% postseason and then 30 to 40% regular season. I do have to value regular season though, because
you have to value
82 games, which is a lot of games. That's how many months? Like 3 to 5 months of regular season basketball, and pretty much a lot of the accolades that come from the all leagues, all pro selections, MVPs, all that comes from not the playoffs but the regular season. Regular season is a lot for regular season guarantees you better seeding in the playoffs for home. You play for home court. Players care about these awards. It adds to continuity and chemistry, which helps you win in the postseason. Regular season does matter, but I do see the playoffs do matter a bit more though, because you play the game to win.
Well, if you're a really bad playoff performer for the entire career, like you shouldn't be over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Oh no. I wouldn't. I would put Jimmy Butler versus Russ. Ooh.
I mean, like,
help me out, bro. Jimmy Butler wins a championship. Is he higher than Russ?
Yeah, I would say so.
It also depends how. But if Jimmy Butler would win a championship this year, it wouldn't just be like what he did in the Eastern Conference Finals. To beat Denver, he legit has to be more Milwaukee Jimmy Butler. Like 30 to 35 points per game. So if he wins that type of championship, it'll be one of the greatest finals performances of all time. He would already have another all-time great finals performance.
Think about it this way. Like, the teams that he's facing, like Milwaukee, 2-time MVP in Giannis. I know he missed like 2 games. He was still averaging a triple-double. He's putting up 38 and 20. The Knicks, like, I get it. Like, they're not as good as a team as those other guys, but like they're still a pretty
They
good
still
team.
have all-stars, all-league guys.
Boston, who is clearly a more talented team than Miami, beat them. And if he goes beat the 2-time like a 2-time MVP again, like I don't know,
It'd be
man.
one of the greatest rings. If Jimmy Butler wins a championship this year, it'd be one of the greatest rings ever. Because that would mean for at least Jimmy Butler. I mean, for a team, obviously for the team, but for Jimmy Butler, he would have outplayed a 2-time
Giannis.
MVP, a Hall of Fame guy, a guy who I have in the top 20 or top 25. Yeah, it's Julius Randle. Yeah, it's Jalen Brunson, but those are all-star, all-league guys. He would have outplayed them. Well, did he outplay Jalen Brunson?
He didn't outplay Jalen Brunson.
I wouldn't say he outplayed Jalen Brunson at all. No.
But Butler got hurt that series, so
He was at least he overcame some all-league, all-star type guys.
and he was battling
in the Knicks. And then he
with Jason Tatum.
He was on the road the entire series, entire postseason. And then he goes in at Boston Garden, outplays an MVP candidate and then an all-league second-team guy, a team that's extremely deep, outplays them to an NBA championship. And if he wins this championship, he cannot beat the Nuggets unless he goes for 30 to 35 points per game. He would have to have a 40 to 50 point game sprinkled in there. He would have to have a couple master classes. He might have to have a 40-point triple-double like he did against the Lakers. He would have to have something like that if he needs to beat this Nuggets team. This would easily be one of the greatest rings ever.
I might put it top 3.
I would.
I wouldn't go that far. And the reason why I say that is because I do feel like there were times, like even if he does win the finals, let's just say that it's similar to the Boston series where Caleb Martin is maybe outplaying Jimmy Butler.
But I get it, Post, but there's no way this Heat team could beat this Nuggets team unless Jamal Murray completely poops the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless Nikola, because they still beat Miami in 7 games, and Jaylen Brown's dribbling the ball off his foot. Jason Tatum's clanking shots, rolling ankles. That's what it took to beat that team in 7 games. This is Denver. This is a whole different beast. I understood that from the Lakers series. I underestimated Denver. Now that I've seen Denver, now that I understand Denver, this team ain't going to dribble the ball off their foot like Jaylen Brown. This team's more consistent than Boston. This team has Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the finals would have been
series.
You also have to
He's
realize
going to have to be more like Milwaukee Jimmy Butler and have like a 50-point masterclass sprinkled in there. He can't just have this like 20-point game, shoot 10 free throws, and ask Caleb Martin to have 30. I mean, Caleb Martin probably had 30 one game, but
you also have to realize about Jimmy Butler is like, yeah, I know his scoring's been inconsistent like since the Bucks series, but like he's also doing other things. He's been really good in the passing lanes, and no one really talks about that. Like,
he does.
Especially in Game 7. Like, his defense has been amazing, and no one talks about it. And Bam, too. Like, Bam, like, I know Bam's offense been trash, but, like, his defense has always been there. But, like...
Oh, don't get me started on Bam, old the Mayo.
His playmaking is also very good. He set up, like, Caleb Martin and Max Strus for, like, really good shots as well. So, I know his scoring's been inconsistent.
Yeah, they did.
But, like, again, in my opinion, Boston was the best defense in the league. I don't think he's going to be as inconsistent against Denver. Because, like, what I've learned about the Lakers and Nuggets series is, like, yeah, like, the Nuggets won. But, like, I think all those games were close. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I saw a game where Anthony Davis had 40 and LeBron had 26, and the Lakers still lost. If Jimmy Butler against Boston, he averaged 24 points a game. If he does that against the Nuggets, it's in 5.
They're getting swept.
It's in 5, maybe a sweep. It's in 5, maybe a sweep. He's got to average 30 to 35 points a game to make this a very competitive series, or else it's over. Because
also,
I don't think this team has enough.
Has to play better.
Or unless Butler goes for 24, then Martin's 19 to 20. Vincent's also 17 to 20. Bam's also 15 to 20. Like, you'll have to also ask, like, 4 guys to be 10 to 20 points also behind Butler if Butler wants to have, like, a 20 to 24-point series. He's going to have to be a third. And I trust Butler more than Bam on offense.
I mean,
what's your thoughts about this locked in, bro? Haven't heard back from you for a second.
Man, so I mean, when it comes to this series, I really do think that the X factor is gonna have to be Bam. Like when we seen AD playing on Jokic, it got kind of weird to the point where we started seeing LeBron more guarding Jokic in the stretch in those later games. Um, I think that if the Nuggets lose to the Heat, and if it's a collective group, like if it's a collective like performance from the Heat, I think that says more about the Nuggets not being what we thought they were than the Heat, being like this great team for real. Because like you said, Jimmy Butler has to score 35 to 40 to even make this a series, in my opinion.
Because
But
Jokic
if
is
he
going for
does,
30 to 40.
yeah, for sure. So if he does seem to like, if he finds a way to win this series, averaging 20 to 25, that is a Gabe Vincent, that is a Caleb Martin overplaying their contracts, like by far. Like they were just averaging 10 and 15 through the playoffs. So to go into the finals saying that they have to do 20, they have to do 15 consistently, I think that more so says that the Nuggets shooters and their point getters aren't as good as we thought. And Jamal Murray, what he's been doing with Jokic, I think it's a no-brainer. Like I got the Nuggets in 5 easily. So if Jimmy Butler finds a way to pull this out, like I wouldn't put it in my top 3 playoff performances, but it definitely goes top 5 because that's going to be special because they damn near weren't even the 8 seed. So
I also want to ask the question, like, if the Heat do beat the Nuggets, like, where's this rank as an upset all time?
In the NBA or sports?
NBA.
yeah, I can't.
It would need to be up there. At least top 10 off the top of my head.
Because what do you guys consider like the biggest upset of all time, like in the NBA?
Oh man, I can't think of one.
Well, maybe there's an upset in the 60s, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least
what about the Heat?
Somebody say it.
Heat and Bucks.
No, yeah. But a lot of things happened. I guess Warriors Cavs 2016, just because it was 3-1.
Well, what about the Warriors Mavericks series back in the?
Okay. I thought you were talking about NBA Finals. My bad.
NBA Finals. Oh shoot.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Mavericks Heat, Mavs Heat. My bad. I was
That's what I was waiting on. That Warriors that kind of hurts too though. That was a 61.
I'm not gonna lie. This might still not put over Mavs Heat. Mavs Heat is horrible. Mavs Heat is horrible.
I mean, when we really think about it, right?
But
I am a Mavericks fan. I'm not going to be biased at all, but y'all have to
locked in. As in a vacuum, take away the narratives and just look at straight basketball. If the Heat beat the Nuggets, this would be a greater upset. But with the narratives involved, as in that was LeBron James, the Heat big 3, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
Gotcha.
That makes it the greatest upset because we talk about greatest, narratives and all that stuff has to come in. But in a vacuum, no narratives, just pure basketball. If the Heat beat the Nuggets, this would be the greatest upset of all time in NBA Finals history. But with the narratives, I'd still go Mavs Heat.
All right. So narrative, even if you add the narrative to that situation, right? We came in hot. We swept the Lakers, who were going for a three-peat. People are forgetting that. They were going for a three-peat. We played a damn good Portland team and Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge. And then we knocked out the young OKC team that went to the finals just a year after that. So you can't say they weren't ready for the stage. And then you get to LeBron James. LeBron James shits the bed. Like, as simple as you want to put that. Like Jason Terry, Deshaun Stevenson, all those players play consistent through the entire playoffs. So when you look at the Heat and Nuggets, they have undrafted guys. Like they have Gabe Vincent and people like that are stepping up well over there, outperforming people. Like, come on, bro. We're not going to sit here and act like the Celtics aren't a deep team. The fact that Derek White was going out
as pure basketball, the Nuggets and Heat would be the greatest upset ever. But with the narratives, again, LeBron James.
It was.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
I'm going to say this real quick.
And how much implications that had on NBA history. Because no offense to Jokic, if he gets upset here, would his implications be harder than LeBron's? Probably not.
Nah, not at all.
So
hell no.
Exactly.
No.
No, but
He'll
like
be back
my
next
thing,
year.
That's
Yeah.
why the
reason-
Dallas Mavericks thing stings
the
more.
reason why like the Heat versus Mavs is like considered the greatest upset in NBA history is because of how LeBron James was not aggressive attacking the paint and how passive he was. Like that's why like I think people were just like how shocked that LeBron James was that passive and not aggressive going to the
It's
paint.
LeBron. It's
Yeah,
LeBron.
'cause it's
That's what I
LeBron.
said. It's LeBron. That's why.
Well, it's also like LeBron James being compared to Michael Jordan. That's why.
Yeah.
So
That's what I said. The narratives, the legacies, the implications were greater for the Heat. But in a basketball standpoint, I think if the Heat beat the Nuggets team, yeah, this is the
I
greatest.
mean,
upset.
it's 8 seed versus
Alright.
1 seed. Like, yeah.
I
can
want to
agree with
revisit
that.
this when the
Take
finals
narrative
happen.
out of it. I agree.
Hey, I'm hoping the Heat win. I'm hoping. Also, if the Heat do win, all the Heat fans are going to come out of nowhere. All these Heat fans on Twitter.
Run it back.
All these Jimmy Butler fans. Yeah. Okay. I can't-
Oh, you know what I'm doing.
Hey, I was a Heat fan for 4 years, bro. I earned this.
Oh my
I
god.
earned this, bro.
You're
I-
a LeBron fan.
I earned this, bro. I earned this. Okay. We got to move on though. But the last person who has a lot to gain from this is Eric Spoelstra. I think we can all agree that Spoelstra would be. Anyone else would disagree? He would be the best coach locked in the NBA if he wins the championship.
I think he is.
And he would be, if he wasn't already, he would be a top 10 coach of all time. Maybe pushing
No.
top 5. I don't know, but who knows?
No.
Okay.
I think he's top. Like I think.
You don't think he's top 10 post, or you disagree with the top 5?
I don't think he would be top 10. No, I don't.
I think he would be top
You know
10.
10 coaches off the top of your head?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we obviously know the Arbacks, Pat Riley, Pop,
Phil Jackson,
Phil Jack.
Red Holzman.
Ain't gonna lie, who's that?
You don't know Red Holzman?
I know
Nah,
who Red
bro.
Holzman is.
Kieran, what
Nah,
team
you
did he
can do it.
coach?
What?
What team did he coach?
No, like I know who he is. I just don't know what team he coached.
He was the Knicks.
Bro, are you talking about like the borderline pre-NBA Knicks?
No. Wait a minute. No, I'm not talking about pre-NBA. I'm talking about he was the guy who won the 2 chips with Reed and Frazier in 70 and 70.
Oh, okay.
I would say Chuck Daly is definitely still better.
No. Not Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly was doing what he was doing with zero All NBA guys.
Dude,
He's bringing the team together.
Wait, didn't Chuck Daly? That's the dude who won with the bad boy Pistons, bro.
Yes. All right. Listen, there's this one guy that I know that probably you don't know, but I think he will forever be better than Eric Spoelstra, John Kundla. If y'all know who John Kundla is, you see, here's my thing with John Kundla. I get it that he played in the prehistoric era.
Oh, is
when
that
the
the
dinosaurs were
Minneapolis
roaming.
Lakers coach?
Yes, yeah, he was the guy who died at like
Wow,
101
okay.
years old, like 10 years ago. Here's the thing. I get it that he was the coaching a long time ago. He only lost 17 regular season games in his career.
I don't care.
I know Kieran's not going to care. You need to admit that that's impressive. No matter
He also unclogged
It's
17
also
toilets
no.
because he's a
It's
plumber.
also
He also
it's
unclogged 17
No, I'm
toilets
just
because he's
saying,
a
it's
plumber.
also impressive when you're getting like undrafted free agents, developing them, and winning a championship.
How many coaches have 3
he
rings?
was doing that. He did
How
that
many
5
coaches have
times.
3 rings, bro? How many coaches,
How many
have
coaches got
Well,
3 rings?
If he wins this ring, it will be his 3rd, his most impactful, taking an 8 seed, developing young guys. And I know he has Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, but like I'm sorry, he's better than Chuck
Hey,
Daly.
he was an assistant coach in 06, right? Too. He's got an 06 ring, right?
Yeah, he's
No,
I
been
mean, we're not really doing assistant.
Pat
Okay,
Riley won that.
I was just saying.
like how much do we take away from that with knowing Pat Riley, knowing the system, like the culture of Miami?
I feel like
is
some
built around
people would
Pat
still call
Riley.
Eric Spoelstra a Pat Riley merchant, even if he wins.
Yeah,
the ring.
but I mean, no, we have to be honest though. Like he's still the one on the floor. You know, he's still the one calling timeouts. He's managing those games. But I just want to know, like,
people actually dig.
Also,
Pat
the
Riley.
zone,
yeah,
like,
like how much do we take away that he's kind of riding off the Pat Riley situation?
What's
you know
that?
what I mean?
6 finals appearances now for Eric Spoelstra. 6.
it would be 6.
What they
Only
did
6 as a head
four,
coach.
5. Yeah.
Four LeBron, 2 Jimmy Butler. And if he wins this ring, that'll be 3 rings. How many coaches in the NBA have 3 rings? Not 10. So
For sure.
there you go.
We could all agree he's better than Doc Rivers, right?
Yeah,
No.
that's not what.
Bro, what are you talking about? Doc Rivers won the. What are you talking about, bro?
I didn't
Doc
see his
Rivers
face.
won-
I didn't see his
Doc
face.
Rivers won
No,
the greatest
I
NBA
always heard
championship
that
of all
he
time.
made-
The LA
he made
Celtics.
that- He made that list.
What are you talking about, bro? The greatest championship of all time, the 08 Celtics.
But I don't
For
care.
sure.
Spoelstra's better than Chuck Daly.
Hey, if you ask Paul Pierce that, he'll tell you that's the greatest ring of all time.
Where's the Chuck
Yeah, well,
Daly?
Paul
like,
Pierce
where-
thinks that he's better than Dwayne Wade, so I wouldn't really ask him that.
I've never seen a team live off one championship harder than the 08 Celtics.
I feel
Nah,
like the
that's
Celtics
crazy.
from like 08 to 2011 are actually kind of slept on with how much they're talked about. Like they weren't any bum of a team.
Oh, I do agree with what you're saying though, because some people would say like they did like absolutely nothing after that championship, like they didn't
That's
go
not
back
that's
They
so
were-
not true.
and they
Like,
weren't
they
pushing for
touched
the
grass
finals.
again.
But yeah,
People forget about that Celtics team that like Kevin Garnett got hurt the next season and they were probably going to repeat. They were probably going to repeat.
Yeah, they were-
the problem with
lost
them is they hit their
3 away
twilight years.
from another championship.
Like
They just hit their twilight years, and then LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah, pretty much.
and even like with how old they fucking were, they almost went to the finals again in 2012.
Yeah, they were 3-2. It was up
Yeah.
3-2.
Paul Pierce, man, that shot was awesome.
I want to
Oh,
go back to the
maybe
Eric
Game
Spoelstra thing real
5.
quick. Would he be better than Tomjanovich?
Yes.
Yes, Spoelstra.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
No. For
Yeah.
me, it's tough because when you look at what Tomjanovich was doing, let's just say Spoelstra does win this ring. That would be one. That would be one less ring for Tomjanovich. But Tomjanovich was also doing this, trying to bring teams back from a terrible record in like the '94 season.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not denying that Tomjanovich was a great coach. Like he definitely helped Hakeem's development as like a playmaker. But like,
Well, Eric Spoelstra was saving the Heat from being under 500. What are you talking about?
no, I'm not like no. I'm just saying like when I see like
I'm just throwing it out there.
when I see like when like Spoelstra and his like zone defense and how valuable it's been for over the last decade, like it's been amazing. Like, dude, like that zone defense is so deadly. Like,
And Spoelstra, I think we're just talking about championships. Man should get his flowers for what he did post LeBron, pre Jimmy Butler. Like,
For sure.
Still having 40 to 50 win teams with
I mean,
iffy Dwayne Wade, Luke Babbitt. Like, come on, bro. Like
Deion Waiters.
Dion Waiters, Goran
We're
Dragic.
We're not going
So
to criticize
white
Luke
guy.
Babbitt.
Yeah, Goran Dragic is
Also,
He's,
like
I like
I remember in 2017, the Heat started like 9-30, and then they went like 30-11 the rest of the year.
No, but you're forgetting, bro. Pat Riley's the godfather. He's the one calling the timeouts.
I don't know.
I don't understand Pat Riley. I saw like he's always sitting in the stands with all the
My
regular.
thing about Pat Riley is
I think
that
he
I've
does
talked to a lot of
like
Heat
personal
fans. They don't like Pat Riley.
What does Pat Riley do? Is he the president of Miami?
Yeah,
Heat?
he's the president.
I think he's the president, the GM, half-ass
Yeah.
the owner.
He pretty much did what Brad Stevens
He's
did.
the
and just,
Miami
like, went down.
culture. He's the
I'm not
Miami
gonna lie.
culture.
I blame
man.
Pat Riley for Pat Riley's legacy. Honestly, should have taken a hit. It's gonna boost his legacy, but bro, the fact that he did like barely any roster moves over the last post bubble, like I always thought he should get criticism. Well, the biggest roster move he made post bubble was what Kyle Lowry, when Miami's always in the running for trade targets and free agents.
Well,
To
be
that
fair,
offseason
to be fair,
was
though,
the worst offseason ever. Kyle Lowry was like the second to third best player that changed teams in that offseason. That's the thing.
Yeah, but they could always do something at the trade deadline, and they
Yeah,
never
yeah.
do it.
I don't care. Kyle Lowry is a Toronto Raptor still. I just don't believe he's like on the Heat.
Hey, whoa, yo, Post. I know he comes off the bench, but he's been key this postseason. How much of a needle is the second championship for that big booty Kyle Lowry? How much of a needle?
Listen, it just depends on how good he plays. Because if I'm being for real, I'm not expecting anything out of Kyle Lowry.
What if he's 10 a game? 10 like 50. What if he's like 10 to 12 a game?
10 a game.
Hits a big shot, like in like a
10 a
fourth
game
quarter.
at most would move him up to 136 on my list above Jerry Sloan. That's kind of it. I'm not putting him above.
My
Marcus
thing about Kyle Lowry is that like I think it would cement him as a Hall of Famer, right?
No.
They wouldn't
Why?
cement him. The Hall of Fame ballot would take like 6 years, honestly, to reach Kyle Lowry's doorstep.
I mean, he would get in.
Probably
Maybe-
eventually.
Yo,
I mean,
Jared,
maybe
I
he
think
gets in
Kyle
one day
Lowry
just
wants
because
to
there's
make
like
the
an
Hall of
outrage
Fame.
from Toronto.
Kyle Lowry wants to make a Hall of Fame. You should go to the Hall of Fame offices and start twerking because he's got a big ass. But okay.
No,
That
no,
is
I'm-
crazy.
No, like
You
legit.
double down on that shit.
No,
That's
no.
wild.
I'm
That's
just saying,
wild.
no, like like if this was at the NFL Hall of Fame, I'd obviously not vote Kyle Lowry. But since it's the like basketball Hall of Fame, how weak it is, Kyle Lowry is going to make it, and people are just gonna have to accept it.
I don't think so. I still don't think so because it's like I look at a guy like Mitch Richmond, who's like maybe like the worst Hall of Famer, of the modern era. I don't.
Mitch Richmond made the Hall of
Bob
Fame.
Cousy's up there.
Yeah, Mitch Richmond's in the Hall of. You see what I mean? Like it's
When did
weak.
Mitch Richmond? No, Mitch Richmond was a nice player.
Wait,
He was a
Matt.
great
I have a
player.
question.
He was like a
better,
25 point per game guy, and that was kind of
I
it.
have a question. Who's better, Kyle Lowry or Mitch Richmond?
Mitch Richmond.
When did Mitch Richmond make the Hall of Fame?
That's a bad take. That's
He's
terrible.
actually in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yes, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. So it's like this is why I don't think we could put Lowry in because I don't think he's on the
Hold
same
on, bro.
level.
Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond and
Mitch
Cliff
Richmond
Hagan.
got that. Yo, Mitch Richmond got that
He's better than
2002
Mitch
championship, bro. What are you
He's
talking
better than Mitch Richmond. You're only looking at points per game to like judge talent. He's not better than Mitch Richmond.
No, I'm not. I'm also looking at the rebounding, the defense. I don't feel like Mitch Richmond was a
Kyle
horrible-
Lowry's a better defender.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like they're on the same level defensively, but at the same time, neither of them are Hall of Fame
Mitch
worthy.
Richmond was a
Mitch
better
Richmond
player than
is in.
Kyle Lowry. Yeah, he was.
I mean, based on the criteria for the Basketball Hall of Fame, Kyle Lowry's going to get in.
Mitch Richmond was a better basketball player than he was.
No, he
But
was
I didn't
not.
know he made the Hall of Fame. Actually, yo,
Yeah,
shout out to the Hall of
exactly.
Fame.
Exactly. This is what I
What
mean.
year was
Just
that?
shout out
What
to the
year,
Hall of
what year
Fame.
did he get in? Was that recently? I never knew he was in the Hall
I
of
have
Fame.
no idea. I just know that he was in.
Okay, I'll look it up though. Okay, so we gotta hurry this up. We're like an hour in. That was legacy, but now predictions. Now I know Locked In said he got the Nuggets in 5. Do you want to expand on that, and then we'll go around and why everyone else got their predictions?
I just think the Nuggets are the way better team, man.
Oh, real quick, Naismith Hall of Fame in 2014.
Yeah, I just looked that up too.
Sorry, Locked In.
Yeah, nah. I just feel like the Nuggets are the way better team. I feel like they have the better player. They have the better depth. Like I know we could have basically said the same thing almost about the Celtics, but I really just think Jokic is on a different level right now, and I don't see the Heat being able to score with them. I don't see the pace of the game changing. I think they're gonna fall right into the Nuggets trap. So that's why I got them going Nuggets in 5.
Kieran or Post?
I got the Nuggets in 6. I actually had the Heat stealing game 1, but then them losing 3 straight. So,
Oh, that's bold. I like that.
I don't know. Like, I said so. Like last series, I said that the Boston would win in 6, but I had the Heat winning game 1, but then they went up 3-0. So, I have the Heat winning. I have the Heat winning game 1, Nuggets winning 3 straight, Heat winning game 5, and then Nuggets close it out in 6. So that's my prediction. And I was right last year. I got it right last year. I said Boston would go up 2-1, and then Warriors would win 3 straight. So
Okay, Boston fan.
I got now. Listen, before I say it, I just gotta say I got no hatred towards the Miami Heat. They have my utmost respect for beating my team and making the finals with all the odds against them. However,
Get the salt shaker out.
However, I do believe this is where this run is going to end, where they get swept by the Denver Nuggets. And the reason why I say they're going to get swept is because I'm looking at the teams that Miami struggled to get, like New York, Boston. Boston almost lost to Atlanta in the first round. We need to talk about that more, how Boston struggled against Atlanta. And that's the team that Miami almost let come back from down 3-0. When I look at Denver, the only real games in the playoffs where I've seen them struggle is in the Phoenix series. Other than that, I haven't seen many struggles out of Denver. So when I'm looking at these two teams, I'm seeing one who clearly is more talented, has struggled less in the playoffs. And then I see one team who went through an injured Giannis, that they were maybe a twisted ankle from Jason Tatum away from like choking the lead to Boston, and they struggled to New York. I don't see them taking a game off of Denver, especially when you look at the fact that Denver geographically has the best home court advantage in the league. Since they're at such a high elevation, they're going to have a hard time breathing. Like Jimmy Butler, with all this heart that he has, I don't know if he's going to be able to breathe running up and down the court in the first 2 quarters.
Jimmy Butler's gonna have an AI tough performance game one.
Hey, if you look at the regular season, the Nuggets have owned the Miami Heat, but it's the regular season though. That ain't playoff Jimmy.
It's different. It's different.
I think Jimmy only played like 4 games in those. I know that I don't know. I think with Jimmy they're 1-3 against the Nuggets. So,
Kieran, did you say your prediction or no?
Yeah, I said Nuggets in 6.
Okay. I'll go Nuggets in 6 as well.
I think 4 is.
I'm being generous too, because really I want to say Nuggets in 5, but I
thought 5 was.
I kind of want to say Nuggets in 4, but I also said Warriors in 4, so I'm not going to say that. So
I remember that take. Hey, the Warriors still won. Who cares?
And 7 though.
Yeah. Well,
we don't
I mean, the Kings only won 1 game after going up 2-0. I'll go Nuggets in 6. I'm being a little generous because I do love Jimmy Butler, and I know what Jimmy Butler can do on the stage. Saw what he did to my LeBron James, giving him a 40-piece triple-double. We see what Jimmy Butler can do on the stage. He ain't going to back down. Now, the elevation in Disney World is different than the elevation in Denver, so maybe that plays a difference. Because
they're going to have to
what did you say?
I was going to say they're going to have to steal one.
They're going to have to steal one in Denver. And honestly, that's what hurt the Lakers too, because I felt like the Lakers should have stolen in Denver to make the series a bit more competitive, and they didn't.
People have to realize that game 1 sets the tone for the series. If Miami steals game 1, they're not losing in 5.
Yeah, I think when you're the road team, you gotta win at least game 1 or 2 because you gotta go back home tied 1-1. If they go back, I think the series is over if it's 2-0 Denver going to Miami. I don't see Miami's just not good enough to climb out of that hole. So they really need. I thought the Lakers were good enough to climb out that hole, and we saw what the Lakers did. Now this is not the Lakers. Okay, bro. Dude, Miami's not tremendously talented than the Lakers. So, and the Lakers had way better defensive personnel, I thought. But we don't know. Bam Adebayo. We're gonna get to game plans in a second, but I'm gonna go Nuggets in 6. I just think Miami hasn't seen a team like Denver. I'm not gonna underrate Denver this time. Miami, I just don't think they're offensively talented enough. If you're telling me rely on undrafted guys in an NBA Finals, now that's no disrespect for them, but Caleb Martin's not. I don't think Caleb Martin's giving you 20 a game against this Denver team. Gabe Vincent, you're gonna have to ask Gabe Vincent to give you 15 a game and blah blah. This is not a knock on Jimmy Butler too, because I think Jimmy Butler is gonna be awesome. It's just the offensive talent around him. I don't think Bam Adebayo,
if Bam Adebayo doesn't play good at all, they have no chance.
If Bam Adebayo doesn't play like a top 4 player, I'm out.
If he plays like he did against Boston,
yeah, and just defensively, what are they going to do? Defensively, Nikola Jokic, Bam Adebayo's baby food. I think Bam Adebayo is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but that's lunch.
Too small.
That's lunch. If you thought Anthony Davis was lunch, man, that boy Bam's Thanksgiving. That boy Bam's Thanksgiving, bro.
I will say this though, I've seen multiple times with the Nuggets that they give up a lot of runs, especially against Minnesota. Minnesota's not that good of an offensive team, so
they did give a lot of runs to the Lakers when they should have put the Lakers.
No, I'm just saying they were up 20 and then Minnesota tied it.
Well, the Lakers did that as well.
The good thing that Miami has going for them is that they do have the better defense, and Nuggets defense isn't that good. That's the only thing I can say.
I think you'd have to bet on locking up Jamal Murray and just praying that KCP and Michael Porter Jr. can't beat you.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's the only way they can win. And you have to pray that your role players are better. But I don't think that happens. Nikola Jokic is going to have a 30-point masterpiece, probably a 30-point triple-double, honestly. He's going to grab every rebound over Bam Adebayo. I saw this Miami team struggle to rebound the basketball against John Collins in Atlanta in the play-in game. What do you think Nikola Jokic is going to do? He's going to grab every rebound. Who's guarding Jamal Murray? Probably Jimmy.
I think they're going to switch. They may switch it with
Yeah.
him, and they may switch it with him and like probably Caleb Martin. I don't know.
I don't think he can
I
guard
heard
him the
I heard
whole
Aaron
game.
Gordon's probably going to check Jimmy Butler. I think that's what
probably a
Aaron
good
Gordon.
matchup. That's probably a good matchup for Aaron Gordon.
I
Body
mean,
for body.
yeah, I just
Put
don't see
MPJ
that
on
working
Caleb
the perimeter,
Martin.
though.
Because I think that's what Aaron Gordon said today. Aaron Gordon said today that Jimmy Butler was the most complete player he's going to play in the playoffs.
That's interesting.
Like guard. He said that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very. That's
We need
very
guarded
interesting.
LeBron and KD, but whatever. He's going to have to guard Jimmy Butler. I just don't see this Nuggets team slowing down now. I don't see him slowing down now.
Anything can happen though.
Again,
I
I've
think
seen
the only instance where Denver doesn't sweep them is if something goes horribly wrong, like an injury. Like that's the only. I don't
Or
see
just
Denver
like-
wavering with their
or just like
consistency.
KCP and MPJ just completely forget how to shoot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
That's the one thing I'm worried about because I think Eric Spoelstra, like zone defense, will give them trouble, but I don't think it'll give Jokic trouble. I think it'll give the role players trouble. So that's where I could see where the Nuggets.
You think
or
they
like-
go the zone though? Because the thing about the zone is that a great way to break down the zone is to put that guy. And I saw Boston try to do it too with Tatum right at the free throw line in the middle of the court.
Yeah.
Miami's running a 2-3. You put the guy at like the top of the key or on like the free throw line, and he play makes, shoot a midi or pass the ball. Nikola Jokic is probably like the best dribble handoff guy of all time. Probably anyone you want to put your offense in that center spot is probably Nikola Jokic. So I want to see how he works on that zone. I don't know if I'm going zone.
We'll see what
but
happens.
We'll see what happens. And that I got him in 6. Real quick though, before we head out, Monty Williams last night.
Crazy.
Any feelings on Monty Williams?
I think
I got an initial thought. I had my analysis.
my thing is, I think it's the best situation that the Pistons fans had in a while. I'm not that big on Monty Williams, but he's better. He's obviously a better coach than Dwayne Casey, and I think Monty Williams is like, we're gonna see Javen Ivey's potential, man.
You forgot they had Killian Hayes, bro.
Killian Hayes has already reached his potential. He's already peaked.
Killian Hayes,
Unpotential his potential.
Okay. Killian Hayes went from dog shit to trash. He's trash now, which
He's
is
still
like
He did get slightly better. He
saying
did.
he's
He went from dog shit to shit. He's still shit, bro.
He went from like he went
He's
from
shit.
green. He went from like green chunky shit to just like pure brown shit.
like Killian Hayes is not even bad. He's just dog shit.
He went from diarrhea to like almost solid shit. But
There's
he's
some
still shit.
bad, there's some bad,
Like,
there's some
yeah.
bad players in the NBA. There's bad players in the NBA, but Killian Hayes is another level.
Well,
Like,
my thing about the Monty thing, if we could go back to that, if y'all don't mind, instead of talking about Killian Hayes. My thing about Monty Williams is that I feel like this fit with Detroit is great. I absolutely hate the contract that they gave him. I feel like he's a bridge coach to develop Cunningham.
Oh, dude, he got an NBA player contract. Boy,
He's
got
making
Exactly.
more than
contract.
90% of their roster right now.
That's the
crazy.
thing. That's the thing. And also, this could be up to
Crazy.
$100 million in 8 years plus incentives, which I think is crazy for a guy who I don't think is going to bring them over the hump. Sure, he can develop these young guys, but what are you going to do once you fire him in 3 to 4 years, and then you still have all this guaranteed money, and then you need an actually good coach to then take you over the hump?
Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, but I think Denver. I think Detroit's in the position right now where they just need to develop these guys. They need Cade Cunningham, Ivy, Killian Hayes. All these guys.
I completely agree. I just don't like the
Or,
contract that they
like
gave.
whatever pick. I think they got pick 4.
I don't think
Or two.
coaches should get like that much of money, like a lot of money. I just don't think they should.
I mean, when you
Unless
look at
you
the years, like it kind of makes sense in that situation.
Unless you're like
It's like-
Popovich,
Spoelstra.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Sure,
harder to
sure.
fire him in 2 years, bro. When it comes to like that contract, you're gonna.
Oh, yeah,
actually
they would
give
have
him
to buy him
time,
out.
and-
They'd have
yeah,
to buy
you're
him
gonna give
out.
him
bro.
time, and like that's really my thing with these with these head coaches. We've seen coaches win championships. We've seen coaches win Coach of the Year. I guess the Raptors just don't like their coaches in the 2 to 3 year span because it didn't happen twice now. But yeah, man, I don't mind the years. It's just that when I seen that pop up, bro, I was like, who else is on that team making money? And I went and looked, and he's literally making
Most of the money.
90% of that's That shit's crazy.
I'm just gonna say the Ime Udoka in Houston, and then, I'm forgetting his name. Wow, he's so Monty Williams in Detroit. What they could be doing, East and West, two guys at the bottoms of their conferences, bro. Sim 2 years. What did these coaches just revolutionize those teams in like top 5?
And it's going to be Udoka, and the Celtics are going to absolutely screw over every chance that they had of winning a championship with this core.
I'm excited for the Rockets, by the way. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah, I am too. I just really hate the fact that they
Matt,
took
Udoka. You should just hop on the Magic bandwagon now.
I might need to do. I might join the Spurs bandwagon with Victor Wembanyama because they just seem unproblematic and just happy people.
Yeah.
If only Bob Cousy was still in the NBA.
He could probably still play.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Die on the court.
Bob Cousy would be nice passing out Gatorade bottles on the sideline. That's
Yeah.
what Bob Cousy would be.
I feel like Bob Cousy still does that. Like he does like behind the back passes to like, oh, here's the water.
Towel boy. Bob Cousy would be a nice little towel boy.
I know a few people from Massachusetts that live in Worcester. They're like, oh, I know Bob Cousy. Like he goes to church like every single Sunday. And
Bob Cousy's still alive and well.
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He's like 94.
Salute to Bob Cousy, man. Hope he's
Best
good.
longevity of any NBA player ever.
Greatest longevity ever. That counts in your all time. Stayed alive.
Exactly.
Oh, that's why you have him so high.
His longevity goes to off the court longevity.
By the way, Damian Lillard is better than Bob Cousy.
That's a discussion for a
All
different
time now. All time now. I don't know if I can go all time.
All time, yes.
Nah. Bob Cousy better.
Bob Cousy's a 50s merchant.
Damian Lillard is a 2010s merchant then.
No, he's just like
2010's guard era was way better.
No,
than-
the
Yeah, it
difference
was.
between Dame and Bob Cousy is that he's actually good at basketball.
How many assist titles does Dame have?
How many?
How many does Bob Cousy have? Is that what you were going to say? He has 8.
No, that's not what I was going
Bro,
to say.
Bill Russ, Wilt Chamberlain won an assist
How many
title at
times has Bob
3.6
Cousy shot over
games.
40% from the field?
True shooting percentage has happened like 3 times in the playoffs.
Doesn't count.
Couldn't Bob Cousy like not win before Bill Russell showed up?
Yeah, he did, but he was anchoring top 3 offenses actually every single year of his career. But then when Bill Russell came around, they just adjusted the team strategy to defense, and
He played for
the rest is history, pretty much.
Ah, man. Only a one-time MVP. He ain't better than Russ. Yikes. Oh, he got the 2-time All-Star.
He didn't even
MVP.
deserve that MVP.
Yeah, he didn't. He was that was his best season, but he didn't deserve it.
8-time assist leader. Bro, the league leader in assist. 7.2. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, get the fuck
That's
out of here.
crazy.
Bro, you can
That's
win the
crazy.
assist title at 7.2.
That's crazy.
7.1.
Drop Luka back then.
Bro, drop James
LeBron,
Harden
drop
back
anybody.
there. He's literally
That'd
winning.
be nuts.
I mean, we
Bro, drop
can't do that.
Ricky
though. We can't do
Rubio.
that.
Drop Ricky Rubio.
We can't do none of that. Drop him back then stuff.
Drop Josh Giddey back in the 50s, and he's
try to,
winning all those
Put
assists.
these men down.
Josh Giddey would literally be the best player of all time.
Josh, bro. Don't
If
give me a
Josh Giddey played in that era, y'all would
I'm like
criticize him
Josh
the same
Giddey.
way y'all criticize Bob Cousy.
If Josh Giddey
is
were in
great.
the 1950s, he would have a statue right up front of the garden. So, that's just me.
Yeah, he probably. He's gonna have a He's gonna have a statue anyway. So.
Dude, Ricky Rubio would have a statue. He averages like the same amount of assists as Bob Cousy.
Yeah.
Yeah, except Bob Cousy's a better passer and he's better at running the fast break than Ricky Rubio, and he's a better pick and roll guy.
No one was fast back then, bro.
Yeah, they're basically all white.
I'm just joking. No, I value that era, just not to post degree. You gotta respect post, bro. If you do 1,000 players, I couldn't name you 2 players in the NBA.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know that shit.
I can't even get past the
You're
top
crazy.
20 without just wanting to like break
You're
down.
crazy.
Oh no! Well, like once I started doing the list, like after I did like the top 20, I did kind of want to kill myself. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, it's like how can based on your criteria, like how can you fully articulate why 906 is better than 907? Like at that point, you're just like listing NBA players, unless you can fully like tell me why Kyle Kuzma.
Like, do you have a
Like,
note
like
next
if
to
you want me to
each number
actually
of
do
all
that,
of it?
I could. 906 and 907. It's Solomon Hill and Adrian Griffin Jr. what I could say about those two is
There's
that
no way about a cap for Solomon Hill live on stream, bro. But go ahead.
What?
all right. Basically, my thing about Solomon Hill, I felt like he was a pretty decent. He was a decent role guy throughout his career. Adrian Griffin Jr. is going to be better like by next year because I think his rookie season is better than any Solomon Hill season. Okay, you know what? Well, let me stop. We're not gonna discuss
Hold on,
this.
bro. Solomon Hill scored buckets in the NBA Finals. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
Well,
Solomon
that
Hill is
should be case
an
closed.
underrated all-time player. He's one of the players of all time. But I think Adrian Griffin Jr. is going to surpass him in short time. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, but that's all I got. Thank you for everyone coming on the 40th episode of Some Casual Takes.
Wow,
Appreciate
because it sucks.
Check out NFL and NBA. Is it NBA and NFL posts?
NBA, then NFL.
NBA and NFL posts on TikTok. Kieran on TikTok. And yo, Locked In, what's your TikTok, bro?
Oh
Like,
shit.
Your name. I got you.
You don't know your name?
We locked in, I believe, bro. I changed it like
We locked.in. I'll follow you back.
There we go.
Locked.in on TikTok. You post a lot of Madden videos.
yeah,
So
man.
show clips.
Trying to switch it up, get out of that Madden niche. But if you need me, you know where to find me.
Sure, I'll hit you up for more pod. I got. When the NBA Finals is over, post. I got to get you back on here so we can talk narratives again.
Yeah. I think we need to do that.
When Nikola Jokic absolutely has a 40-point triple-double average and wins Finals.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy Butler fan. You just won the Heat to win, so the Knicks look like they lost to the NBA champion. So you can say the Knicks were the toughest series for Miami. You just want to say that.
Probably were.
You just want to say that. That was probably the worst Jimmy Butler series, though, honestly.
Oh, okay.
But I'm out of here. Salutes, everyone.